Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming to visit me again. I'm in my kitchen and I'm making dinner tonight. So I'm making one of Gary's favorite dinner tonight. I'm making meatloaf. And I'm gonna show you how I do my meatloaf. And it's so easy, and it's just putting things together and things that you have at home probably. So what I'm starting with is 3 slices of bread, white bread, whole wheat bread, whatever you have at home. I just have homemade bread from dinner last night, so I'm just crumbling that right in my bowl, right in here. Like, this is my mixer bowl. And I'm gonna add half a cup of milk, and that's gonna go right in there. I have 1 pound of ground beef, and that goes in there. There you go. And now we just have to start putting all the good stuff. Onions, chopped up onions. Of course, the ingredients is gonna be right under the description, so you don't have to worry about getting it right. It's gonna be right on there. I have 2 cloves of garlic because I love garlic in the meatloaf. Tastes so good. And I grate it with my little grater here, so you don't get big chunks of garlic in your meatloaf. There you go. So, and here I have 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs, and this is Italian seasoning breadcrumbs. So instead of ketchup, a lot of people use ketchup in the meatloaf. I'm gonna use tomato paste, and I'm gonna put 1 whole tablespoon of tomato paste. Makes it so good. Then some Worcestershire sauce, and I just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be exact, but I'll put the ingredients under so you know what. 1 egg. 1 egg goes in here. And chopped up parsley. This is half a cup of parsley. Parsley is really good with it. Okay, so now I have Italian seasoning. That goes in there. A little bit of salt. And a little bit of pepper. And that's it. This is all the ingredients for meatloaf. Can you believe it's not that much? You have all these at home, so might as well make dinner tonight. So, you know me, I'm getting my hands dirty, so I'm gonna mix it with my hands. So there I go. Doesn't take long to mix together. And this comes together so easy. The bread is already soaked into the milk, and it's already incorporated with my meat. So that's what makes the milk and the bread makes the meatloaf so moist and nice, and holds together very well when you cut it. If you put it in the loaf pan and you cut it, it comes out really good. I'm doing something different today because this is more fun. So today I'm making individual meatloafs for me and Gary. And of course, if we have some extra, I can pop it in the freezer and cook them some other time. So I don't know how many I'm gonna make here, but I'm gonna taste it. I'm gonna taste just a little bit so we know the flavor. Pretty good. I need just a touch, a little bit more salt in here. So I'm gonna add another maybe half a teaspoon of salt. There you go. Okay. So I don't know how many I'm gonna make, but I'm gonna put 4 in this little pan for us tonight. 2 for tonight and 2 for tomorrow lunch meatloaf sandwiches. So there you go. And the other 4, I think I'm gonna make 8. It's gonna go in here. And these are gonna be perfect to freeze in this little pan. Get it out when you want dinner and it's done. So there we go. There is the meat. I added a little bit more salt. It should be perfect. So now I'm just gonna make them good size. And this is how I do it, like little mini meatloaves. Everybody gets the wrong, and everybody gets the little crispy edge on top. I think I'm only gonna make 6, but that's okay, because 3 for tonight, 3 for next time dinner. So, and this, it goes right in my pan right here. I want to show you, there they are. 3 meatloaf, mini ones. This is gonna cook individual. Now I'm gonna do the other 3, and I'm gonna put them in my other pan. Pop them in the freezer. See, I made 6. Yeah, I thought 8 would be too much because I only have 1 pound of ground beef. So, and there's the other one. So I made 6. So 3 for tonight and lunch tomorrow if there's any left, and 3 to go in the freezer for next time dinner. There you go. Let me wash my hands. So there you go. You have 3 here and 3 here. So these are going to be covered with this and go in the freezer. These are the little takeout containers you buy, and they're really good to store things and cook them right in here. So there it goes. This goes in the freezer. So there you go. That goes in the freezer. And these 3 right here are ready for the oven. So the oven is going to be preheated at 350. And I'm going to cook them for maybe 45 minutes, something like that. And I'm going to check them. And I'm going to come back and show you what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to put a little bit of ketchup and thing on top to brown them, maybe make them maybe barbecue. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to show you. So this goes in the oven for 45 minutes at 350. See you in a little bit. So while I'm waiting for my meatloaf to bake, I'm going to make little gravy. So I'm going to just get butter and mushrooms and saute them and make little gravy for the mashed potatoes, because I'm going to serve this with mashed potatoes. So gravy is really good for the mashed potatoes. So I have about 1/4 cup of butter. I'm going to let it melt. And I have about 1/4 cup of flour. So I have my butter in my pan, and I'm going to saute some mushrooms. I have about 2 cups of mushrooms here, sliced mushrooms. Regular mushrooms, oops. Regular mushrooms is good. The white mushrooms. And I'm going to saute those in the butter. And that's going to be our gravy, mushroom gravy for this cute little meatloaf that I'm making. So there is the mushrooms all sauteed. I'm sorry you can't see that great. I was gonna see if I can make. So I'm sauteing my mushrooms in 1/4 cup of butter. And they look really, really yummy. So they look really nice. I'm sorry I can't show you. I know there's a way to do this to show the pan, but I'm not really good on this thing, so forgive me for that. So, and doing this all by myself is not easy. So the mushrooms are ready. So I'm gonna add another quarter of a cup of butter in here. Then I'm going to add my my flour. I'm making a roux for the gravy. So the mushrooms are ready. So now I'm going to sprinkle a quarter of a cup of flour on top of the mushrooms, and I'm going to saute that a little bit to get the flour flavor out of. You know, you're toasting the flour. And it's going to be so good. You're not even going to taste the flour when the gravy's done. So there it is. So this is what it looks like. The mushrooms and the flour toasted together. And now the only thing I have to do left is add a little water. And that's what's going to make the gravy. Don't worry if it's a little lumpy, it's okay. That's when you know it's homemade. So I'm gonna let it cook a little bit, and I'm gonna add my water. So my flour looks pretty toasty in here. So I'm just gonna add my water. There you go, the water goes in. And you mix it all together. And now I just have to do my flavoring. I have to add a little bit of beef stock. And I use this, it's called Better Than Bouillon. And this is roasted beef base. So I'm gonna put about 1 teaspoon in here. And this will make this so good. You don't have to work all day to make gravy. There you go. So gravy's coming along good. There it is, already thickened. So I'm gonna taste it and see if it needs a little bit more. So I'm gonna put a little bit of thyme in here. A little bit of thyme. Some thyme here. Thyme leaves, that goes really good with the beef gravy. There you go. If you can see this smells so good. So I'm gonna add another maybe quarter of a cup of water, so that'll be 3/4 of a cup because it's a little thick. So I'm gonna add in another quarter of a cup of water, then I'm gonna taste it and see how good it is. Then you have homemade gravy just like that. It doesn't take long. So let me get another little spoon here. That's my gravy. So, as soon as it gets to bubbly, it's ready. Perfect. Doesn't need any more salt, doesn't need any more beef base. It's already done. So now I'm ready. I'm waiting for my meatloafs to come out. I'm gonna top them with this, serve them with mashed potatoes and gravy on top of the mashed potatoes, and we'll have a nice dinner. So I'll see you when my meatloaf is done. See you in a little bit. So there I am, 45 minutes later, and the meatloaf looks so good. Look at how good it looks. Look at that, look at that. It looks delicious. So I'm going to, and I didn't put anything on top because I made the beautiful gravy. So I just thought I'd leave it plain like that. Didn't put no ketchup, no brown sugar, no nothing on top. So I'm gonna serve this with some mashed potatoes on the side, like this, like that. And my beautiful gravy. Look at this. This is the gravy that I just made. So the gravy took about a cup and a quarter actually. I started with 3/4 of a cup of water, but it took a cup and a quarter because he kept thickening and thickening and thickening. It looks great, so I keep adding water till I got it right, and the amounts are in the description box. The mushroom gravy and meatloaf, and looks great. It took 45 minutes to cook. I hope it tastes good. It looks great. So I'm gonna fix another dish, and Gary and I are gonna sit down and have a nice dinner, his favorite dinner, meatloaf with mashed potatoes and mushroom gravy. I hope you try this recipe. It's really good, and enjoy it. So I'm gonna leave you with lots of love, and I'm gonna go join my husband with a nice dinner and a glass of wine. Cheers. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.